friends, so today we are making Christmas gifts. So I went to the Target dollar spot and I picked up 10 things that we could craft with today. So let's hop over to the craft table and we'll jump right into the first craft. And by the way, if you are new here, you are crafting with Kim Byers. I would love for you to hit that subscribe button and join me for all my future videos. Okay, let's go. Okay, so here we are on the craft table and this is our very first craft. So again, I got all of these items from the Target dollar spot. So this is a set of 3 small jars and these are almost 7 ounces each, and used to, you know, you would get these for $1 a piece, and everything has gone up in this current economy, but these are 3 for $5, and so you can do a lot with 3 for $5. So that's what, $1.66 a piece. And so they do come with these merry and bright, these cute little tags. So if you just wanted to use them with that little tag, you could, but we are going to use our Cricut and embellish the tops of each of these and put something on the jar itself. So let's go ahead and open these up. And I already have all of my vinyl cut out. And so if you are new to Cricut and you are just learning how to use your Cricut, I am going to link up above how to work with vinyl. So like from beginning to end, how to work with vinyl. Now what I want to share with you guys is these are really, really sweet, and you can't really tell it until you get them out and start playing with them, but these lids are wood. I mean, it's not like a little screw on, screw off kind of lid. These are wood, which just makes them absolutely so much cuter than they already were. Already cute, but I love that. So we are going to set that out of the way. We'll set this one out of the way, and we'll start with one. But again, super cute. You could fill them with candy. You could fill them with sugar scrub. Oh, that's a really great idea, like a sugar scrub. That would be so, so cute. Okay, so let's pop that out of the way, and we're going to use 4 different colors. We need these. Okay, so we're gonna start here, and I do have 3 of them cut out for each of the jars. So I'm gonna take the lid off, and I'm going to take off the cute little tag. Now guys, if you don't use this for this particular project, you could save these. I mean, these would be darling to put on gifts and stuff. So, you know, it's not, you don't have to waste that. So we want to start with and I'm going to use this. My mom made these little hair bows, and so it actually fits. It was just sitting in the studio, and it fits perfectly for my little jar. So I'm actually going to use it to kind of cradle my jar. Okay. The next thing that we want to do is we want to take our vinyl and we want to place it onto our jar. And I have a brayer, and I have my scraping tool, and I have some transfer tape. So we're going to use the transfer tape for all the small things, but I'm just going to, like, this is the background for my holly. And so I'm just going to take that up by hand, and we'll place that by hand. And so my jar has a little bit of a seam right there, so I'm going to twist that a little bit, and we're going to put the holly outline. I'm just going to put that down with my fingers. Okay, and then I'm going to take the small pieces of holly and just going to put those down by hand. I love having an outline like this, it just really makes the design pop. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. It really makes the design pop. Go. And it doesn't have to be perfect, guys. This is actually, like, if you have younger kiddos in the house, this is a great project for them to be able to help with, so they can help you put everything on. There we go. And so then we'll put a couple of berries on, and this is that holographic red. I absolutely love this. It kind of gives it a shimmer. You can even see that on camera. See that little shimmer? Isn't that pretty? This is great for Santa and all those kinds of projects. Okay, and so we'll put that there. So that's already looking beautiful. Okay, and so now we want to do our lid. And so I'm going to take a piece of transfer tape, and if you guys ever craft with me, you know I reuse transfer tape a couple of times at least. I love to get the most out of my material. So I'm going to take that off of its backer. So I am going to pick this up and center it where I want it to be, and then overlay the jolly just to make sure that I get everything right. And so using transfer tape on your table and, you know, glue and paint and all that kind of thing, this is my glass board mat, and I will link this and all the other things up down below, but I love this mat. Good placement, so that's looking good. And so then just slowly take off the transfer tape. By the way, guys, I'm so interested to know, are you done with your Christmas shopping? How cute. Are you done with like all the big Christmas shopping this year, or do you still have some to go? I would love to tell you that I am done. I am not. Okay, so there's our very first project from the finds from the Target dollar spot. And so let's go ahead and move on to our next project. Okay, so our next project are these sweet little, these are like, I think what they say is gift toppers. So these are supposed to be like really sweet little things to put on gifts, and that could be a great use for it. I mean, these were $1 in the Target dollar spot. You could make these as ornaments, you could put these on gifts. So here's my thing, if you're going to put these on a gift and you own a Cricut, why not embellish them a little bit further, right? So the back of these, beautifully painted. So we're going to add a little bit to the back of that. So not only I'm gonna show you a little video. There were tons of cute little ornaments. Now I grabbed these because I wanted to personalize them, but there are some others that you might want to take advantage of while you can. And then I am just going to weed out my little design. Okay, little secret, guys, I actually have reading glasses these days. Drives me crazy, but that is just the reality. My husband told me that when I hit a certain age that I was going to end up getting some glasses, and I was like, no, I'm not. But yes, I am. The day has come. Okay, now that we have all the details out, and this is one of the reasons too that I love my glass mat, because I was able just to like stick it on there, and then I can just use a scraping tool to like, you know, scrape it off. Okay, so let's get another piece of our transfer tape. Okay, so now what we need to do is just peel that back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this design on the back side. So no matter which way this cutie flips, it's going to be pretty. A little bit more. See how cute that is? And one of the reasons I chose this font was because it also has lines in it. It has, so this is like an outline ho ho ho. And so what I wanted to do is have a font that kind of went with that. So now I am just going to center this. And I love my mat because it has grids, but I also like using my fabric tape measure for things like this, just to make sure that I'm getting in the center. Whoop, there we go. Oh, you know what? And this glass mat, he has a magnet in it. And so like this is great because now I don't have to hold that down. It's not going to move. It's not going to shift. And so now I can make sure that I get my name right in the middle. There we go. Okay. And then we will take our transfer tape off at an angle. How stinking cute is that, guys? So, so cute. So I'm gonna save this for my next one. So, so sweet. $1. Perfect. Ornament or for a gift topper. And actually this is going to be for a gift topper. Okay, so let's move on to our next one. And this one is it's kind of similar to what we just did, but this is, oh gosh, guys, this was too cute. I love baking, and I love baking with my kids. I wanted to make this an ornament. So this, this one actually was identified as an ornament. Again, $1 in the Target dollar spot. And so you saw the little video that I put in showing the other ones that were available in the Target dollar spot. Lots of cute stuff this year. Absolutely lots of cute stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to do for this one is I thought about like giving it to someone and putting a little monogram right there, and we could have done that, but what I want to do is I want to put the year on it. So my Christmas tree it's a memory tree, candidly. It's like, it's ornaments, nothing really matches, nothing's really perfect. It just is a set of memories of all Christmases past. So it's like ornaments, we get new ornaments every single year, and I make sure that everything is dated. And so it's a very simple thing. This is very simple, but being able to do this not only for myself, but to give this as gifts to other people, I love it. I absolutely love being able to personalize all the things with my Cricut. So this little craft literally has taken us, what, 30 seconds or so to do. So we're just gonna take that transfer tape and pick that up, use my brayer. But I wanted to show you guys this just because, you know, sometimes we see these cute little ornaments and things and then we don't think about, you know, taking them to the next level with, by either putting a person's name on it. You know, used to in the old days, we would go to the mall and you would, you know, get those personalized ornaments, and you would spend, you know, back in the day, I mean, but it was good money back then. You know, you'd spend 20 bucks getting a personalized ornament. And so now, if you own a Cricut, guys, you can do that for yourself and everyone else. So see the little, and that font, I'll put this font and all the other fonts and things and the designs that we're going to use today. I'll put those all down below so you guys can find those easily. I love this font, by the way. And so we're just going to pop that right there. We're just going to use our finger to put that into place. And then I'm going to put this on my tree. I'm really, really excited about this. It's like I did make some ornaments for my niece, and she has a new house this year. And I will put that video up above, but I also made some things for her. Isn't that sweet? Guys, that was so easy, right? But you just took a dollar ornament, $1, and we just personalized it for the year. So that is really, really sweet. But if you wanted to use this as a gift tag, you could, you know, personalize that with someone's name. Absolutely perfect. Okay, so let's move on to a little bit more complex project. I'm excited about this one. Okay, so next up, we are making a sweet little sign. I'm really excited about this one. I got this from the Target dollar spot, so this little sign. This is just over 12 inches, so inside. It's roughly 12.5 inches long by 5.5 inches wide. And so I love this. I don't necessarily want the stripes, but I love the sweet little red frame. And so, yes, this one was $3. So yes, so this one was $3. And what I think I'm going to do though is, instead of trying to paint it, just because it would take multiple coats, and if I could pop it out, if I was able to pop that out, I would paint it just because I could, you know, go off the edges. But since I can't, I am going to use vinyl and I'm gonna fill this. So I actually went ahead and did that. So this is what it looked like. I bought more than one. Bought more than one frame, but this is just white vinyl that I've placed inside of the frame, and it looks perfect, right? And then we are going to weed out our design and put that over the top of it. So the way that I did that for you guys, if you get this particular frame, or if you get something else and you want to do this, I used my paper trimmer, and I love this one because it is 13 inches long. And then I was going to use paper to put in this frame, but I didn't. And I used actually the 13-inch smart vinyl because I had this on hand. Now your frame might not, if you don't get this one, you know, you just use a different one. You might not have to worry about that, but I didn't have a sheet of paper that was big enough to go in this, and so this vinyl actually ended up being perfect. So what I want to do now is we're going to set this off to the side for a second. And I have my transfer tape. And so now what I want to do is we're going to weed out our design. Now this is the Cricut Smart Vinyl, and this is what they call shimmer. So it's kind of like glitter, but nothing, you know, comes off. It's beautiful. I'm not sure well you guys can see that shimmer on camera, but it's really, really pretty. So we are going to start at a corner. I just grabbed the edge of my letter, which I'm going to try and just fix that. Bummer. Okay, don't do that. That's what we don't do. Okay, so we're just gonna pull gently from corner to corner. Take your time. And I got this design out of Cricut Design Space. It is so cute. I did modify it just slightly, and I'll show you that in just a second. So can you guys guess what it is? Okay. I love this design. Love it. So pretty and simple. Sometimes simple is the most beautiful. Look at that, guys. Is that not gorgeous? I am going to love putting this on our sign. And by the way, if you know what Noel means, comment down below and tell me what it means. And by the way, so I looked this up. I mean, I know what Noel means, but I looked this up, and there are actually 2 definitions out there right now for Noel. So Noel is in Ecclesiastes, and it basically just means to be born. So this is in reference to Jesus Christ being born. And yes, I nicked the side of that in. I am going to be so upset if I can't get that to like lay down once I get that on my sign. But basically that's what it means. And it stems from a Latin word, natalis. Natalis. I'm so totally mispronouncing that. My southern accent is not pronouncing that correctly. But that's what it's from. But if you look it up now, I asked Siri before I did this, and I was just like, oh, so Siri, what does Noel mean? And it came up as Christmas carol. So I'm not going to comment deep on that, but guys, Noel means to be born. It's in reference to Jesus Christ. And so hence the little manger and the star here in the center. And then the design in Cricut Design Space did not have the marks above the E. And so I just, did 2 little dots or 2 little circles with the shape tool and put that above. Okay, so here's Strong Grip, and Strong Grip has purple lines, so you can't, mess it up. It actually says Strong Grip. You have to use Strong Grip when you're working with shimmer or glitter. And so I've gone ahead and cut out a piece, and so what I want to do now is I want to peel up. There we go. Okay. Move that out of the way. I'm going to put that on my vinyl. And I'm just going to use my scraping tool, just making sure that I get it down on top of everything. There we go. Okay, so now Strong Grip, we're going to be able to turn that over, and it's going to pick up our design. See that? See how that picked up? I remember when they very first came out with glitter and they didn't have Strong Grip yet, or if they did, I didn't know anything about it. And I struggled so hard with the glitter, and I wanted to use it so bad. Oh goodness, realized I didn't weed out part of that. Well, that's okay. I'm not gonna put that on our design anyway. There we go. Perfection, yay! Okay, so now we're going to move that back into place, and we are going to put our fabric ruler down. This looks like an Etch-a-Sketch. Do you see like the little, that looks like an Etch-a-Sketch, right? Very funny. Okay, and so now what we want to do is we want to make sure that we have the same distance on either side of Noel. Fingers and put it in place. Super excited about this, guys. Going to love putting this in the house. Oh my goodness, so pretty. Jesus is the reason for the season, right? So we're going to be able to, let's pop these out of the way. And now we're going to take our Strong Grip, and we're just going to pull gently from one direction, from one corner. It's coming off perfectly. You just have to take your time. Just don't be in a hurry, and it is going to turn out phenomenally. Okay, so I'm going to put down in the description below this design and Again, this one came from Cricut Design Space. And all you have to do is use that code that you're gonna see down there. Oh my goodness, guys, I'm so in love. You're just gonna have to use that code that you see down there and put that in Cricut Design Space in the search bar. And so you'll be able to search for that. And it also has a little hashtag. So put the little hashtag in front of the number and then you can make this absolutely gorgeous sign for your Christmas season. Okay, so let's move on to our next project. These are just so sweet. I could not leave these at Target. They were $1, and at first I was like, I have no idea what I'm gonna do with this. They had white ones, they had different shapes, different colors of green, and then I thought these are gonna be perfect to put as embellishments on gifts. I mean, you could make a little forest out of them too. So what we're going to do is we are going to put decorations on our little trees that you could put onto a gift or make like a little collection of these. And you know what? Oh my goodness, I just thought of this. This would be phenomenal if you had a daughter or a granddaughter and they had like a little dollhouse or something like that, and you wanted to, you know, put a little Christmas tree in their dollhouse. This would be perfect. Perfect. Okay, so this is really simple. I just cut out some stars and circles. You could have done, you know, light bulb shapes, and I cut those out of vinyl, and then we're just gonna peel these off like stickers and put them onto our little trees. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the little thing my mom made and have that holding our little tree. And then we are just going to peel off some of this vinyl just like stickers and put this onto our tree. I am just, how sweet, guys, how stinking cute are these little stars gonna be? Okay, so next up is this sweet little box. At first I was like, I have no idea what I'm gonna do with that, but it's got this metal bow on top, and then the dividers are painted red, and it was $5. But the more I looked at it when we were in the store, I thought how cute this could be for an advent. And so almost like a little surprise advent. So you could do it a couple of ways. So you could make this an advent if you had one child, and so you put 4 things in there and they picked you know, one each day. Or if you had a family of 4, or if you had 2 kids. I have 2 kids, but you could put the little you know, the little packages in there. And sometimes we do notes, and so I like to do advent sometimes when it is you know, an activity instead of a treat. And so what I would say is we could, you know, we're going to embellish the inside of the box, and then you could use this for a little advent. You could use it for decoration. That would be absolutely gorgeous too. And then I also have some little gift tags that we would be able to use with this if we wanted to. Okay. So let's go ahead and start weeding out our design. Now, and this is a design out of Cricut Design Space. Very simple, darling little designs, and I chose to go with white. If you notice, today's theme is a lot of red and white. I love red and white, and a smidge of black here and there. And so these designs are very, very simple. And if you give me 1 second, then we will put the transfer tape on it, and I'll pick them up and you'll be able to see what they are. So if you guys are still around, I would love for you to hop down and tell me like which is your favorite craft so far. After this one, we are actually going to move on to some iron-on crafts, some that I am super excited to share with you guys, some really, really cute stuff. Okay, and don't forget, I picked these things up from Target in the last few days. So you, if you see something you like, make sure that you hop over and grab those before they're gone. You know how that goes. Sometimes they get missing out of the Target dollar spot, just like they do Dollar Tree and the other little stores that have good deals like that. They don't tend to stick around long. So we will start with this one. Use my brayer. And then we will pick that up. So you can probably already tell what that is. Super cute. Super cute. Can you see? It's a little candy. So we're gonna put this in one of the little windows. And I'm just gonna do that down with my fingers. I have to put my mom's little coaster down underneath that metal piece, make sure it doesn't mess up my table. So I'm just gonna rub that in, and then we will peel that off. And always peel at an angle. Always peel vinyl transfer tape at an angle. We will peel that off real quick. See how cute that is? Oh, guys, so cute. You know, I'm always looking for ideas for Advent. So if you've got something that you do with your kids, you know, like little gifts and things that you do with your kids and you want to share, I would love to hear all about it down in the description or down in the comment section. Well, maybe. There we go. It's like, oh, it's gonna be stuck. Okay, so there we go, guys. How beautiful is that? Let's move this out of the way. That's so, so sweet. And again, you know, you could put initials and things in it too. That would be great. Okay, and so I also did some tags, because what I'm thinking is it could be that it's little, you know, little gifts. So it could be like little bags of candy, little Hershey's Kisses or things like that. And so if this is for one individual, you might have a little treat in a bag and then a little note. A lot of times we'll do like little notes that says, you know, again, going to the parade or, you know, coloring together or whatever that might be. And we do family game night and things like that. Okay, so these are the tags. And so these are paper tags, kind of keeping with my red and green and black theme. And you could do these for all 25 days for each individual. But I just thought these were so sweet. Can you see? That's the one. And all of these are down. There's a ton of different ones down in this. You can probably actually see it better on the table. There you go. But there are tons of different ones and different kinds of shapes and things like that in Cricut Design Space. Just you can search Advent tags or number tags. And I will put the code for these down in the description as well. And this paper, I want to say I got this paper from Hobby Lobby. And so I will package those up and show you what that's gonna look like. So cute. Oh my goodness, I like it more than I even thought I would. Okay, so for our next project, we're going to use iron-on. So if you have ever shopped in the little Target dollar spot, you have seen these bags. They have them for every season, every time of year. This is the one that I found in ours in the last couple of days. But I have gotten these, which are a little bit larger, and I've gotten the red ones. I'll be honest with you guys, they're $1 a piece, and so I tend to pick them all up because I use them for so many different things. These are great for gift cards and great for small treats like candies and things. They're also really fun. I like to attach them to gifts, and so sometimes like this is the perfect size. This one is, some of these are larger, but this is the perfect size for like a little Hot Wheel or something like that, and attaching it to a larger gift that you're giving at Christmas. I just love these little bags. So I have gone ahead and cut out our iron-on with a silver glitter. And just like whenever we started our vinyl projects at the beginning, I will post a video, like a beginner's video. So if you have not ever done iron-on before, do not fret, I am putting that video up above. But for today, we're going to go ahead and weed this out. And I'm just gonna move my mini into place. So with your mini, if you have a mini, you know that it just has the button, it has the 3 buttons. And so for iron-on, glitter iron-on, we're going to need it to be at full strength. So we're gonna need it to be all 3. So while that is getting ready, I'm gonna go ahead and we are going to weed this out. So I'm just gonna grab a corner. I got a little close cutting that one, didn't I? Look how close that is to the edge. That I usually like to give myself a little more space. And so this is a half ornament. How cute is that? Right, I must have thought there was more room on there. But this is a half ornament, and then it has little stars there, and then I put his name on the opposite side. So let me just get that little piece out from the A. Okay, so the great thing about iron-on for one, yes, you can see that so much better. Flip it over. Super cute, right? It's tacky, and so once you have, you know, measured your bag and made sure that it's exactly, you know, the size that you thought it was and all that good stuff, and you know that you have it centered, and I am just going to use my magnet and hold that in place. Then you can make sure that your design is exactly where you want it to be, and it's tacky, so it's going to hold it down. Great, right? Okay, so we'll move that out of the way. So simple. So yes, we're starting with the easy one. Okay, so a couple things about the Easy Press Mini. So that's one of the reasons we're starting with this one, and then we're going to move up to a larger machine. But with the Easy Press Mini, unlike the other ones, you are going to move it around. So what you want to make sure that you do is you move your bag to a pressing mat. You don't want to risk your table, no matter where you're crafting, in your kitchen, or if you have a designated, you know, area. You don't want to risk messing up your glass board or your tabletop. So you want to make sure that you have a pressing mat underneath that. And this is the Cricut brand, and I'll link it up down below. But basically with the Easy Press Mini, you can move this around. You don't have to be stationary with it. Now, if you're using the larger mat or the larger heat presses, you do. You literally put it down, you apply pressure to it, you do it for so many seconds, and so it's not like the Mini at all. The Mini, you can move around kind of like an iron, and if you've not seen the bottom, it's kind of like that teardrop. It looks like a little mini iron. So the Mini I tend to use on small projects like this. Like if you're embellishing shoes or ribbons, I use the Easy Press Mini a ton for ribbons. And so what we want to do is just get a good press on this. And if you've not used one of these before, there is an app that's going to allow you to like know what type of fabric it is and what type of material you're using. And so it's going to give you some general guidance with the Easy Press Mini, because again, you don't have the ability to do specific temperatures. Okay, and so we'll move this back in. We'll set our, and then I want to allow this to cool just slightly before I peel it up. Get our tag off. Okay, so I think, is it cooled down just a smidge? Not a ton. There we go. No, it cooled down enough. Okay, so you just pull at an angle and you go slow. And ta-da! Isn't that sweet? So simple, so simple. And then I actually have two, so isn't that great? So that only took a minute or two, and you can personalize these sweet little bags, and even make them like, you know, if you attach them to a gift, this is even like the little gift tag, right? So there's an extra little something inside, and it's a really cute gift tag. So loving that. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to a bigger project, one I'm really excited about. This is gonna be so cute. So let's go ahead and move everything out of the way and pull out the next one. Okay, so here is our next project. So these are absolutely adorable. I mean, if you guys ever craft with me, you know that I'm all about the stripes, I'm all about the polka dots. I love how classic this is. It's so cute. And so what I decided to do was I picked up 3 of these, and we are going to embellish them with a glitter. Isn't that pretty? So that's going to be gorgeous. So again, red, white, and green today. We're doing all the red, white, and green. And I'm going to embellish each one of these as a gift. Now, I will caution you, I have burned things before. So we're using my Easy Press 2. And I have burned things before when I got too zealous with too high of a temperature. So we are actually, when I looked inside, these are made out of an acrylic. And then it has a liner. And so I'm gonna go with a very light heat first. and we're gonna see how that goes. And as long as I don't burn anything or make any indentions, we might up the heat a little bit because glitter, you know, can be kind of tough. Now there is a heat guide, and I'm gonna link that up below when I link up these, but there's a heat guide that Cricut offers, and they are saying roughly 220 degrees and 20 seconds. Or no, 280 degrees, I think. Yeah, 280 degrees and 20 seconds. So I need the machine to come down just slightly. And so then we will do this. So while that is working, actually it just worked itself out, we're gonna go ahead and weed out our glitter. And this font is actually part of the monogram set that you can now do on Cricut Design Space. And so this is just one of the, I'll find it, I'll look at it and see what it was called, and I'll link it up down below when I put all of the other items down below. But you are gonna love this. Not only is it just a really great bold, but it has some detail in the side of the lettering. Okay, so we'll take our weeding tool and get out some of those fine little details, or even just, yes, this might be a better way, just kind of bending it and letting it pop up. Okay, and so there we go. So isn't that beautiful, all that little detail? So let's grab one of our stockings. I want to go ahead and trim off that tag. Get that out of the way. Grab that out of the back. Okay, so let's just see where we think, oh guys, this is gonna be really, really fun. And look at this, you are making a very personalized, looks like Pottery Barn kind of gift for $3 and a little bit of glitter iron-on. And so if you buy a full roll, and if you stay with a specific theme, you're gonna be able to make tons of these. You can make these for everybody. And I mean, this is something that you could put a fun little saying on and put a wine bottle in if you wanted to go that route. Or you could make this a child's gift with like a little stuffed animal inside. It doesn't have to be a stocking that they necessarily hang on the mantle if their family already has that. This could be something for their door to their bedroom, just any number of things. Okay, so let's make sure that we are centered. I don't know, 6, there's my 3. See, it's kind of odd with fat letters, where it's fat on one side, skinny on the other. I kind of like fudge it a little bit because there's my center point, my 3, and that is really more so in the center of the A. Okay, so this is what we're gonna stick with. And so we are going to test. So typically what you would do is you would do a little bit of heat to warm it up, and then you would put the design on. But I am just going to do a little test with it on there. And so we're gonna go really quick. And I would have used my mini, but the fact is, guys, with the mini, because you can't be precise, and I wanted to make sure that this was going to adhere and not be too hot. I was really afraid that I was going to get too hot. So you see, I only did, what did I do, 10 seconds, maybe 12 seconds, and so it's gotten a little bit, you wanna make sure you don't do that, right? So you pick it up before, it's better to do, maybe 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds. You don't want to burn these. So it feels very soft, but I don't want to ruin that. Okay, so we're gonna go again. And I know what I said, you're not supposed to move with the bigger machines, but I'm kind of thinking that I'm gonna move. It's down enough that it's not going to shift, and I really do not want to damage these. Beautiful stockings. So guys, sometimes crafting is not perfect, right? You're just gonna have to go with your gut. And I've made enough things like this that I know I don't wanna burn it. Especially, and I don't want to say cheap, but with the cheaper fabrics like this, you can easily burn this if you're not careful. Okay, and so it says to remove when it's cool to the touch. So just remember, when you get blanks like this from the Dollar Spot or from Dollar Tree or things like that, go easy with the fabric and heat. because you don't want to burn it. And then you want to, like with this glitter, you want it to cool before you start to take it off. And because this is like a knit, you want to go slow so that you don't pull any of your threads. So let's just go really gentle. I'm just gonna hold them down a little bit so that the tacky, do you know what I mean, doesn't take that off. Oh, it's gonna be so pretty. Okay. Yes, it turned out perfect. Guys, I wish you could see it in person. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, so next up we are going to do dish towels, and these dish towels are in a set of 2 for $5, but I loved that they were red and white, and again, stripes, can't do without the stripes. And so I cut out the green glitter and some little red pieces as well, and so we'll weed those out so you can see those designs. And these are 100% cotton, so I changed the easy press to 330 degrees in 30 seconds. And again, that is all in that heat guide, which I will put up down below for you with all the items in this project. So we're gonna clip that off, and I am making these as gifts for pre-Christmas. So this is for my mom and my sister-in-law, and I'm gonna put some like little spatulas and things with them so they can do some really fun holiday baking. I thought this was a really sweet way to know, let them know I was thinking about them without, just a ton of money. And by the way, when we did the stockings a few minutes ago, I didn't use a pressing mat, and that was really because the stocking is like so thick. I mean, it was like its own pressing mat. This thing was really thick. But you want to use a pressing mat with almost everything you do. So we're gonna use one with this. So I've gone ahead and weeded out part of the first design. And so as you can see there, it's this really sweet wreath. And so I want to get 2 more elements for that. And so then we will press these in sets. So there's really no overlap with this design, but we are going to need to press the green and then press the red. And so I'll show you how to do multiple colors on something like this. Okay, so let's go. Okay, and so there we go, and I love this font. I'm not sure how well you guys can see this, much better on the table. You can see that, but it looks a little like Disney. And so these are the editable images within Cricut Design Space. So that new section where you can, find an idea and then just easily edit the text in it. These 2 designs are from that section. So make sure that you hop down and check that out. So I'm just going to clean this up a little bit, and then we will start pressing our first one. Now, one thing I do want to point out is this is glitter and this is everyday. So we're going to need to change our temperature. So what we have on here right now is glitter. We need to do the wreaths first so that we can place everything. And then we will need to change that temperature over for the other. So I am thinking that this design is going to look better on the stripes just because it's more white and it's daintier. It's a lot more detail. And then this guy I think is going to look best or show up best on the red. So let's go ahead and do this one first. We'll move that out of the way. Get our pressing mat. We'll get our tape measure. Want to make sure if you go to all the trouble to do something really beautiful like this, then what we want to do is we want to take our tape measure and just make sure that we are putting it where it should be. Whoops, did you hear that? That's a really big magnet. And this, you can't feel it all the way through that, but I was just going to use it to hold it down. Okay, so first of all, we will take our wreath, and I think this looks like Okay, so I can't believe this happened to me, but basically my card ran out of space. And so the last couple of minutes of that project, I'm not gonna be able to show you, but long story short, I used 2 different colors, an everyday and a glitter. It's $3.30 for the glitter and $3.15 for the everyday. And so I used my Easy Press to press on all the glitter first, and then I removed the backer and put on the next color. So I was able to make this one for my sister-in-law. Isn't that beautiful? So I'm going to pair this with some spatulas and things and give these as a nice little pre-Christmas gift for all the baking that's going to be happening in my family. And so this one is for my mom. So let's go ahead and move these out of the way and do our last project. I've been saving this one for last. It is so much fun, and I think that you guys are really going to enjoy this. Okay, and last but not least are these really sweet little do not open until December 25th bags. And so these are available in so many places. I've seen ones that are pre-printed, and I've seen a ton of blanks. So I'm going to put this similar design down below. So if you need to start completely from scratch, you're going to be able to do that. You're going to be able to find that bag and do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this darling bag and we're going to personalize it. Again, if you own a Cricut, why not personalize all the things? So we are going to grab this at a corner, and I decided, by the way, I wanted to use a pattern. I'm using pattern and then everyday and then a glitter. So I'm going to start with the pattern, and we're just going to weed that out. Weeds out so easy. And by the way, if you are still with me, I want you to hop down in the description and let me, oh, messed up the, hop down in the description and let me know which project you liked the best. Thing that we want to do is we want to weed out our red and then our glitter. So we have the name, and then we have a little Santa hat. It's going to be so cute. And I'm thinking about putting it on the E. So I don't know if you can see that real quick. Okay, and then the last thing is the rest of the hat. So like the little pom-pom. Glitter is so easy to weed once you can kind of just get in there and get it moving. There we go. Okay, fantastic. So now you can see, so isn't that going to be sweet? Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to start with our pattern. We want to put the name on first. So we want to move our mat back into place. And what I'm thinking, I did the name on a bit of a curve. And if you've not used the curve tool in Cricut Design Space, I have a video and I'll put that up above so you can check out how to do that. It's so simple, so simple. But I want to do it on a bit of a curve. So I curved the name. And so I'm just gonna put this down. So we'll put this down real quick, and then we'll put down the little hat, and then we will finish with the glitter. That up. Now we want to allow this to cool just a little bit. So whatever material you're using, you want to make sure you check that heat guide to, find out if it's a cool peel or a warm peel, how many seconds you want to, put that on your heat press, and what temperature you need. And so it's all based off of your materials and what, your base material, and then what kind of iron-on you're using. So just make sure that you pay close attention to that, and you will have perfect projects every time. And now we're going to let that cool, and we will peel it off slowly, and then we will put on our little Santa hat, and we'll be done. Okay, and so now it's cool to the touch, so we're just going to gently go from an angle and roll it down. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is I want to put on the little hat, and I'm thinking for Cole, I'm going to put it over top of the O. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that'll be super cute. Okay, and so do you remember when I told you guys that you could use an Easy Press Mini on larger projects when you just want to get into a small space? That's what we're gonna do with this, because this patterned iron-on is a little fragile. And so I don't want to mess it up in any way. So I am going to use my Mini just to kind of get in that spot. Okay, and so now that I think I've got that one, I'm gonna go ahead and warm it up all the way. Okay, and that came off beautifully. Look how great that looks. And so now I've upped it to all 3 dots, and I need to wait till that turns green. Okay, so we're just pressing this, each piece in place, and you want to make sure that you cover everything with the backer, and then you fan it a little bit just to cool it off, because I can't wait. And so then you peel that off, and it turned out absolutely gorgeous. The kids are going to love these. So, so fun. And now here's a quick recap of all 10 of our projects. And I would love for you to pop over and check out how to make large, oversized snowflakes with your Cricut, as well as oversized garland with your Cricut. Paper garlands, fun things to do with the kids. If you've not already, click that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.